I'm going to show you how to make raw chocolate mousse. The secret ingredient is avocado, and I'd say the second secret ingredient is dates. There's no other sugar added. This is really delicious. It won't last long in your household and makes a great dessert. Start off this recipe by using 7 dates, and I like the mid-jewel dates. Break them apart and take the pit out, put them in a bowl, and then fill it with filtered water and let it sit on the kitchen counter for at least 30 minutes. But if it's an hour, that's okay. After the dates have soaked for 30 minutes to an hour, just drain them in a strainer in the sink and put them back in the bowl. And now we're going to go over to the food processor. We're going to start by putting the 7 soaked dates into the food processor, and then 3/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then I want you to get real maple syrup. Don't get the fake stuff. No log cabin sugar water in this, okay? So real maple syrup, we're going to do 3/8 of a cup, which is 1/4 cup and 1/8 of a cup. And I know I'm not using a liquid measuring cup with this, but that's the way it is. And then we're going to blend it. Partway through, I like to stop it and scrape it down. And I use the scraper that came with my sweetener. So the thing is, you want as many little pieces of date to be blended as small as possible. Sometimes when you buy dates, they'll get a little too dry when they sit in your cabinet. And soaking them can help, but it's best if you use dates that are already that chewy kind where they're sticking to your hand. Okay, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to scrape it again because I want all of this yummy date goodness to be in my chocolate mousse. Now, I have made this before with agave nectar instead of maple syrup, and I did not like it. I didn't like how it tasted. I didn't like the consistency. I think it's best with maple syrup, and that's my opinion, but you can try it. You can try making this with agave nectar instead of maple syrup and see how it works. Okay. So now we're ready for the next ingredients. But I'm going to measure them out in a moment. For this recipe, you'll need 2 avocados. So break them apart and cut them however you like. I cut them into cubes. And you're going to need to do a little bit of pre-smushing. So cut the pieces into a bowl. And use a fork, once you can get all the pieces out, to smush them. Okay? And it doesn't have to be completely smushed, but it'll just make it easier for the food processor to break them up. So I'm not going to make you watch me smush all these with the fork, but you get the idea. So 2 avocados smushed. Back to the food processor, I'm going to put in 1/3 of a cup of cacao powder or cocoa. I use this cacao powder, but you can use cocoa powder. And then put all of your avocado in. And scrape that in. All right. I let my dog eat the ball. Sorry. And then we're going to put this back on. blend it for a little bit. How long you need depends on how creamy your avocado was. And unfortunately, these were not very creamy. I don't know why. The only other ingredient you're going to have is water, and you're going to need 3 ounces, which is 3/8 of a cup, and I see I have a little too much in here. And then while it's running, and actually I want to look inside and scrape down some of this powder. And I'm going to have to do this a little longer. But then what you do is you pour in the water in the top. Normally by now it's done. But like I said, these avocados were a little tougher. They were ripe, but they were just a little tough. Okay, I'm going to check this. And it's looking really creamy. I'm going to tilt this so you can see it. Can you see that pretty well? Yeah. So it's looking like mousse. It's still a little bit with the little pieces of the date. So keep processing it until it's done. Okay, so let's see what this looks like in a bowl. This does need to be refrigerated, so I put it into a container that has a tight fitting lid, and it's a little hard for me to show you in this tight space, scraping it out, but I'm going to pour it in the bowl without you watching me, because otherwise I'm going to have my arm in front of the camera. Okay, I got it all out into the container I'm going to use in the refrigerator. You know, you really could eat it right away if you wanted to. I like to put some sliced banana into it. You could also put some chopped nuts into it. It's so good. This will last in your refrigerator for a day or two, but don't have it there much longer than that. If you make this much, it'll be gone quickly, especially if you have kids. It's going to be gone even faster. You might even want to double the recipe.